Welcome to today's video. This is a B1 level science lesson, and today we're going to be talking about ecology. So just take a look at this picture and see if you can describe some of the things that you see. Now we're going to try to match each picture with the photo, so you can pause the video and try this on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, number one, the deer population in the forest is growing every year, so that would be picture A. A forest community includes trees, birds, insects, and many other living things. That would be picture D. A polar bear's habitat is the cold Arctic region. That's picture C. And the niche of a honeybee is to pollinate flowers and produce honey. That's picture B. Okay, the same thing here. Again, you can pause the video, try these on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. A coral reef is an ecosystem with many kinds of fish, plants, and other sea life. That would be picture A. The human population in cities is often larger than in rural areas. That's picture C. And conservation efforts are important to protect endangered animals from extinction. That's picture B. All right, so now you're going to match the vocabulary words with their definitions. Again, you can pause the video, try this on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. All right, a system that includes all living organisms, species, and communities, and non-living factors within a defined area is an ecosystem. Efforts to maintain environmental equilibrium and protect ecosystems is conservation. A group of the same species living in a specific area, that's a population. The specific environment where an organism lives is its habitat. The role of an organism within its habitat is niche. And all, all the different types of living things that are together in one area is a community. All right, now you can pause the video and read the text or follow along as I read, and then we'll answer the questions. An ecosystem is a community of living and non-living things that interact with each other within an environment. Plants and animals are examples of living things in an ecosystem, while rocks, water, and air are examples of non-living things. All living things in an ecosystem work together to survive. For example, plants provide food and oxygen for animals, while animals provide nutrients and spread the seeds of plants to new places. When an ecosystem is healthy, all the living and non-living things are in balance. People can sometimes do things that hurt the ecosystem, like polluting the air or cutting down too many trees. This can cause problems for the living things in our ecosystem. So what underlined word or phrase in the text means to have an effect on another thing? Well, that would be interact with. To make available for use is to provide. To stay alive is survive. And making air, water, or land too dirty and dangerous for people to use in a safe way is polluting. All right, so now complete the sentences with the words from the boxes about ecosystems. So an ecosystem is a community of living and non-living things that interact with each other within an environment. Plants and animals are examples of living things in an ecosystem, while rocks, water, and air are examples of non-living things. All living things in an ecosystem work together to survive. Plants provide food and oxygen for animals, while animals provide nutrients and spread the seeds of plants to new places. When an ecosystem is healthy, all the living and non-living things are in balance. And pollution can cause problems for the living things in the ecosystem. All right, now let's match the type of habitat with the picture. All right, so picture B would be forest. Picture C would be mountains. Let's see, picture F would be wetlands. Picture E would be desert. Oh wait, sorry. I think I did that wrong. Sorry. So this would be forest. D would be forest. E would be desert. F would be wetlands. B is rainforest. C is mountains. And A is grasslands. And then which organisms live in which habitats? So take a few moments, see if you can figure out where these animals live. All right, so bears can live in the forest and woodlands. A camel would live in the desert. An elephant would live in the grasslands. Fish in the ocean. A lion in the grasslands. A macaw, the rainforest. A monkey, the rainforest. A penguin in the Arctic. A polar bear in the Arctic. Shark in the ocean. Whale in the ocean. And zebra in the grasslands. So taxonomy is a classification system that groups species based on their similarities and shared characteristics. The groups are scrambled below. Read about each group and complete the chart. So the genus is a more specific grouping that includes species that share fundamental features. For example, lions and tigers belong to the same genus, Panthera. Domain is the largest animal that classifies all living organisms into three main groups: bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. Kingdom, within the domain, organisms are grouped into different kingdoms based on core characteristics. Species, the most specific category, organisms are grouped if they can interbreed and produce fertile offspring. And phylum, class, order, and family, these categories group organisms based on additional shared characteristics. All right, so let's see. The domain is the largest category, so this first one would be domain. Within the domain, let's see, organisms are grouped into different kingdoms. So I believe this would be kingdom. And then let's see. The most specific category here would be species. And then genus, I believe, would be here. And then class. There's no E on genus. Okay, so I'm going to check to make sure those are correct. So domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. Yes. Okay. Okay, the genus is a way to group similar species together based on their features. Lions and tigers are different species, but they are in the same genus because they share many similarities. So match the beginning of the sentence to the end. Lions and tigers are different species because they look different, but they belong to the same genus because they share many characteristics like sharp claws. The birds that live in the city park and the birds in the forest are part of different populations, but they both belong to the same species. And dolphins in warmer oceans are faster swimmers than those in colder oceans. Actually, this would be C because they have different habitats, and they both belong to the same species. All right, we can use comparatives to compare different species. And so can you find the adjectives that are comparing? So elephants are larger than giraffes and they have longer trunks, while larger and longer are comparative adjectives. Dolphins are more social than sharks and often form groups called pods, so more and social. Dogs are friendlier than wolves, but they belong to the same genus because they share many characteristics. Okay, we follow some rules when writing comparative sentences. When we compare adjectives with one syllable, we add er. So elephants are larger than giraffes and they have longer trunks. So large becomes larger, long becomes longer. When we compare adjectives with two or more syllables, we use more. So dolphins are more social than sharks and often form groups called pods. So social has two syllables, so we say more social. And when we compare adjectives that end in Y, we drop the Y and add IER. Dogs are friendlier than wolves, but they belong to the same genus because they share many characteristics. Friendly becomes friendlier. All right, so now complete each sentence using the comparative form of the adjectives. So rainforests are more diverse than deserts with a larger variety of plant and animal species. Deserts are drier than rainforests, and thus rainforests are wetter than deserts. Wetlands are more fertile than deserts with lots of water and vegetation. Rivers are wider than streams. Plants in tropical regions are greener due to lots of sunlight. Penguins are more adapted to cold climates than flamingos. Hawks are more skilled hunters than vultures and rely on their sharp vision and speed to catch their prey. Birds can fly higher than most insects. Robins are more common than blue jays, but they are similar species because they are both birds that can fly and build nests. Cheetahs are faster than lions, which makes them able to chase prey with speed. Ants are smaller than bees, and their colonies can be more organized. And bears are better swimmers than deer. Now, factors that upset the balance of an ecosystem are called disruptions. So match the disruption type with its image. So let's see. A storm would be picture B. A forest fire, picture A. A volcanic eruption, picture C. Clearing land, picture D. Killing pests, picture E, and pollution, picture F. So now you can read the text and follow along as I read and then answer the questions. Habitat destruction is a serious problem that affects many animals and plants around the world. We should be aware that when we cut down forests or build open lands, we are taking away the homes of different species. To help, we should plant more trees and support conservation programs that aim to protect endangered animals. Additionally, we shouldn't litter because it harms the environment and can hurt wildlife. In our daily lives, we should try to use less water and energy, as these simple actions help to preserve habitats and ensure a healthier planet for all. So, how does habitat destruction affect animals and plants? Well, it can destroy their homes, um, and if the environment is harmed, it can hurt the wildlife. What can people do to protect endangered animals? Um, we should plant more trees and support conservation programs. And two actions mentioned that can help preserve habitats: shouldn't litter, use less water and energy. All right, now match the meaning of the word from the text with its definition. So to try and reach a goal is to aim. To remove trees from the forest is to cut down. Species that are at risk of extinction would be endangered animals. Animals that live and grow in natural conditions or wildlife. To put garbage on the ground is to litter. To keep in good condition is to preserve. To remove something from somewhere is to take away. And the place where people live is the planet. And then we can use should and should not to give advice. We should plant more trees. We should not litter. So look at the pictures and give advice. You can use the words below to help. So we should recycle. We shouldn't litter. We shouldn't cut down too many trees. We should ride bikes to protect the environment. All right, now pause the video and see if you can find the errors in these sentences about ecosystems. Okay, animals and plants in an ecosystem helps each other survive. Well, so we have animals and plants, so we don't need the S on help. People should to protect ecosystems to keep the environment healthy. We don't need to here, it's just should protect. Ecosystems providing us with clean air and water. So here we just need the regular form of provide. People should not littering to keep the environment clean. So again, we don't need the ing, just people should not litter. Animals eat plants or other animal to get energy in an ecosystem. So we need the S here on animals. Each ecosystem have its own special plants and animals. There should be has. Some animals are more better at surviving in certain environments than others. We don't need to say more better, it's just better. Rainforests are biodiverser than deserts with a wide variety of plant and animal species. This one we would say more biodiverse. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.